Good afternoon everyone, my name is Felix Drummond and welcome back to Felix Drummond-Medals. In this video I will be talking about the basic campaign medals awarded to British and Commonwealth personnel during the First World War from 1914 to 1920. So the First World War campaign medals were awarded based on the day you landed in a theatre of war, which is interesting when compared to most British and Commonwealth medals, which are awarded based on a period of time you were in a theatre of war. But let's get started with the campaign medals for the First World War. So these are the first ones here. This is the basic trio for the First World War. A 1914 star with Mons clasp, named after the First Battle of Mons, the British War Medal, and the Victory Medal. The 1914 star was awarded to all members of the British Expeditionary Force who landed in France, mainly France and Flanders, anywhere from the 4th of August 1914 up until the 22nd of November 1914. And if you came under physical German gunfire during that time period, you were awarded this clasp up here, which was known as the Mons clasp. And you were also awarded this rosette here, which was originally meant to go onto the ribbon bar for these medals, but it appears that the recipient of these medals has placed the rosette on the medal. And if you got the 1914 star, whether you got the clasp or not, you were always entitled to what's known as the pair, the British War Medal and the Victory Medal. Those I will go further in detail into in a sec. The next medal issued for the First World War, the next campaign medal that is, was the 1914 15 star, which was awarded to all members, to all British and Commonwealth personnel who landed in France anywhere from the 23rd of November 1914 up until the 31st of December 1915. It's very similar to the 1914 15 star, but there is some differences. I'm not sure how well this will show up on camera, but the 1914 star, it's got, if it camera focuses, I'm not sure if it will focus, but it's got these scrolls up here that say August and November, and on here it says 1914. On the 1914 15 star, it just says 1914 15 at the front with no scrolls, and there is no clasp awarded at all for this medal. But once again, if you got the 1914 15 star, you were also always entitled to the pair known as the British War and Victory Medal. And now it's time that we get on to those. So the British War Medal was awarded once again to all members of British and Commonwealth forces who served throughout the First World War from the 4th of August 1914 up into 1920. So this was also awarded to those who served in the Russian Civil War, for example, serving for the White Army. They were also awarded, you occasionally see singles for these to those who simply just served in, say, India or any other area that wasn't a combat area during 1914 to 1920. And there was also bronze versions of the British War Medal as well. Those were also issued to Labour battalions and Labour units. I have none of those in my collection, but maybe one day. And here is the Victory Medal. This was awarded from, once again, the 4th of August 1914 up until 1919. So this is the 1914-1920 British War Medal and the 1914-1919 Victory Medal. And 1914 to 1919, because whilst the war ended on the 11th of the armistice was signed on the 11th of November 1918, officially the war didn't finish until the 28th of June 1919, when the surrender was ultimately signed. However, if you landed in France from the 1st of January 1916 up until the 11th of November 1918, or actually not just France and Flanders, but Mesopotamia, Egypt, or any other form of combat area during the First World War, if you landed there anywhere that was a combat area from the 1st of January 1916 up until the 11th of November 1918, then you were only entitled to the pair and no 1914 or 1914 15 star. Now the soldiers had nicknames for these medals. For the trio, specifically the 1914 trio, they called it Pip, Squeak and Wilfred. Now, Pipsqueak and Wilfred in their day was a cartoon in the newspaper. It was a daily sketch. It had a rabbit, a dog, and a penguin, and they were basically tramps who had all their possessions in a wheelbarrow, and they pushed their wheelbarrow around and attempted to help others. But whilst they were helping others, it was always cold, they were always tired, they were always wet, they were always hungry, and everyone shouted at them. And the soldiers in the trenches, or wherever they were serving, they were thinking to themselves, yep, we sympathise with that, we understand that. That's us, literally. Hence why they called it Pip, Squeak, and Wilfred. If you got a 1914-15 trio, 1914-15 star British War and Victory Medal, then you still called it a Pip, Squeak, and a Wilfred. But many of those who got the 1914 star felt like that their trio was the true Pip, Squeak, and Wilfred. And if you got just the pair, those also had a nickname, and their nickname was Mutt and Jeff. And it was called Mutt and Jeff, again, because of a cartoon once again, but it was an American cartoon of basically two tramps. They were always drunk, they were always being arrested by the police, and they were always trying to go the easy way around things. And very unfortunately, that's how those who got the 1914 star and the 1914-15 star saw those who just got the pair, as simply like those who didn't try hard enough. And whilst those who got the stars were fighting in battles such as Mons, Ypres, Loos, which were all horrible battles, they were thinking, where were these people? Where are they? And meanwhile, a lot of the people who got the pair probably didn't even turn 18 before they were called up, before 1916. And those who got the pair, they took part in battles such as the Somme, Arras, Passchendaele, Vimy Ridge, the Kaiserslautern, German Spring Offensive, Advance to Victory, and many others, which were all horrible, horrible battles. Not to discredit what those who got the 14 and 15 stars went through in 14 to 15, but the battles that the guys who got the pair went through, and girls as well, my apologies. Oh yeah, plenty. These weren't just awarded to men as well who got the. Plenty of females got these as well, particularly nurses. A lot of women were awarded these as well. But what those men and women who got the pair went through who got just the pair went through was horrific. Really was. Now, some more basic facts about these medals. As mentioned earlier, this is referred to as the Mons clasp, but the medal itself, the 1914 star, is often referred to as the Mons star because many of those who received this medal took part in the First Battle of Mons, hence why it's called the Mons star, and this is called the Mons clasp. As mentioned earlier, many bronze issues of the British War Medal were issued to Labour battalions and Labour units. But many were awarded just the British War Medal, particularly those who served, let's say they served in India but didn't go anywhere else during the First World War. They would have just gotten a British War Medal. And also those who served in the Royal Navy but were based in the UK, a lot of them also got just single British War Medals. And very rarely, but Royal Flying Corps personnel, they are very, very, very rare. Royal Flying Corps single British War Medals. Royal Naval Air Service, they're a bit more common. I used to have one in my collection myself, but they are quite rare to the Royal Flying Corps though. And the Victory Medal, sometimes you see them with an oak leaf here, a mention in dispatches. That's where they generally rent. The mention in dispatches, oak leaves. They sometimes went on the British War Medal when it was a single British War Medal, but usually you'd see them on the Victory Medal if they were mentioned in dispatches. But yeah, those are the basic campaign medals for the First World War. I hope this video has been helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, just like last time, I would highly recommend, if you want more information on the medals awarded for the First World War specifically, I would highly recommend this book, The Great War Medals Collector's Companion by Howard Williamson. Once again, just like stated in the last video, it's quite hard to find, and it is quite expensive, but it is a very, very good book, specifically for First World War medals. I would also highly recommend, if you want more information on the medal entitlements and more information about the medals themselves, I would highly recommend also British Battles and Medals. This doesn't just cover the First World War, it covers the medals throughout the whole history of British military medals. So I would highly recommend this one as well. But yeah, I hope this video. Oh yeah, sorry. This book, it was written by British Battles and Medals. Sorry, it was written by John Hayward, Diana Burge, and Richard Bishop. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this book as well. Yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you all enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Also, sorry for the delay on this video. Yeah, we'll be officially posting videos hopefully every Friday or every Saturday. So be sure to stay tuned for next week's video, which will be about the territorial medals awarded to British and Commonwealth personnel during the First World War. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.